Hi, Mark. Welcome back. And the first thing I would love is to introduce yourself. So, how would you love to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I suppose what the best way to describe in terms of work-wise, my background was always in technology. My passion was always for sustainability. I had a great opportunity about 15 years ago to join what was a startup in renewables, working in technology, but was all about sustainability. And then when that company was acquired, I was saying, well, what do I do next? And so I stepped into the world of the intersection of technology and sustainability and ESG, environmental, social, and governance. So I've been, talking with David for years. We were like a meeting of minds, kindred spirits, and we've been talking a lot about technology and sustainability, AI and sustainability, AI and ESG, and that's how humanity works has evolved. How would I introduce myself beyond job titles? I think the best description that I had is actually I was once at a talk from the former head of MI6, Sir Alex Younger, and he said when he was interviewed for that position, they said he was perfect for the role because he was an introvert masquerading as an extrovert. And I felt seen because I'm probably the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I would also say behind the job titles, it's like you're very friendly and you're very open to start a conversation with, and you'll take the conversation very nicely forward so the person opposite to you won't feel like, oh, what to talk next. We'll always
Hmm.
create a lot of things to talk. So it's very nice talking to you always.
Oh, thanks so
And
much. Yeah.
and what are the key moments in your journey that led you to work what you're doing now?
Yeah, well, so some of what we just covered. It's a case of you have your what you studied and what your background was and what you worked in, and that was the sort of foundation was technology. But it's a case of what do you really care about, and I've always cared deeply about sustainability. The sustainability angle led me into the world of ESG, and I see from all of the great conversations I have with David is like where we would jump on a call, we'd be having a coffee, we'd be bouncing ideas off each other, and we were seeing, there's the obvious threats that people talk about that AI is posing, both environmentally, from socially in terms of how it's going to impact back jobs. But we're also seeing sort of the huge opportunities to sort of take control of it for humans to lead it, rather than sort of essentially be carried away by that wave. So that's how it really led to where we're at today. It's in many ways what I'm looking to do is applying a lot of the principles of ESG to help organizations navigate the AI journey successfully.
That's interesting. Did you start sustainable IT after the thing that the company has closed, the one you're working, or is it a recent one?
Sustainability started after my the former the renewables company was acquired. So at the time, it was acquired by a larger conglomerate who did other things apart from clean energy. So it wasn't really something I wanted to be part of.
Mhm.
And I'm at the age now where you've got to be true to yourself. And that was very much part of it. I think the nicest way to say it is something that I remember another person saying is that the values of the company and my values diverged.
Oh yeah, I started believing in this after seeing you strongly going with your ethical choices because I still remember the day I questioned you, why not this platforms and why only
Mhm.
this? So that is the day even I felt like, yes, we should never go behind our ethics in whatever we do.
Well, this is it. We're making recommendations. You've got to sort of live your values, and that's it in terms of the choices we make, in terms of the technologies that we choose, and sort of being, we use the term in our everyday lives about being conscious consumers. So, we have to. we have to sort of show those behaviors. We have to demonstrate those behaviors. In the same way, we want to, give our own children, a set of values. We have to live those values as well. We can't tell them to do something, if we're not doing it. So we need to be good examples.
Exactly. And in your own words, what problem is HumAInity Works being created to solve?
hmm Well, if we look at it, professional services firms in particular, what I call knowledge-based firms, of which I would count, companies that are, engineering companies, renewable energy companies, they have the massive challenge and the fear over, AI being able to sort of, steal away, clientele revenue from them. But the thing is that, all of these organizations, they have a USP. They also have IP, and to use the famous phrase is like to paraphrase it, the future is already here, but it's not evenly distributed. Within these organizations, there are pockets of great practice, and great knowledge and lessons learned, and they're not necessarily spread all the way across the organization. They can sometimes be siloed. So I see one of the biggest opportunities for AI with these organizations is to ensure that they are benefiting from the entirety of their IP. And in many cases, a lot of that IP is locked away in the heads of individuals. It's not necessarily in their shared documents. In some cases, it is. It all depends on the procedures and policies and how project driven they are and how well they are with lessons learned. But we see that there's a great opportunity to harness all of that IP, and to still, maintain it within that environment, and essentially to be the tide that lifts all boats, but also to build that organizational knowledge on an incremental basis, so that if somebody does retire, if somebody leaves the organization, that knowledge stays with the organization. So I'm very excited about the capabilities of AI, implemented and harnessed in the right way to really be a differentiator for companies.
That's a great one. So, is that the one thing do you think it really needs to change in professional service firms?
100%. One of the things that I see is that, in some companies, there can be a culture of hoarding, and that, people tend to sort of not share their knowledge. It depends from company to company. You know, a company with a really good culture embraces and promotes teamwork and sharing, and rewards those who share, not those who hoard. And this is something that you want to do. You want to encourage people to, to share their knowledge, and those should be the ones that are bringing on others and developing others are the ones that you want to be sort of rewarding. I remember very early in my career, there was one of the managers said something that was quite profound. He said, by holding on to this particular piece of knowledge and being the only person who has it, doesn't make you irreplaceable. It makes you unpromotable. So that's what I'd like to get across to people, is those people who are the champions of sharing information and are making those contributions to lift all boats. Those are the ones we'd love to see, benefiting from it the most.
So, as a co-founder, what do you see as your main focus in the business?
Well, Dave and I, we are like two parts of the whole, almost like, the left brain and the right brain. So David is, he's the structure, the methodology. He's he's come up with these brilliant diagnostics, and I'm more on the creative side, like almost
To be
like
honest,
chaotic. Yeah,
yeah,
chaotic in
but
some
no,
ways
no,
is.
no, 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 not chaotic. To be honest, more creative.
Well, I don't see chaotic as a bad thing, in the concept of creativity, because it means that you can go in any different direction, or multiple different directions, and what you're actually doing is it's not that you're going off on a tangent, but if you think of the entirety as this blank canvas, you might be going this direction and you're painting part of the picture there and then going this way, painting part of the picture there. So in the end, you step back and you will get the full picture of it. Whereas, David's natural approach is he's going to go structure piece by piece, one through to 100. I take the different approach. We'll get to similar outcomes. But I think what we have is we have really complementary skill sets. But the other thing that we have is that's so important as co deep respect for each other and massive trust in each other. So we know that our focus is on the success of humanity works, and therefore, whenever we give each other feedback, it's always taken in the best of spirits.
Perfect. And we have spoken about this term a lot of times. And again, when we speak about human-led AI, what does the phrase mean to you in practice?
Yeah. One of the things that I always annoy some people with is that no no interview goes by without me using a movie analogy. And to me, there's two ways that you can go with AI, and one is Terminator One, where the machine is trying to kill you, and Terminator Two, where you're in charge of the machine and it's doing your bidding, and it's essentially there to support you, and that's what we're very much about. It's not just about sort of the obvious ethical controls where it's the human quality check of anything that's AI. It's also about ensuring that we're building anything that we're building is with the outcome focused for the benefit of humanity. And one of the things that I've said for quite a while is if an organization is setting out on an AI journey, they have to be very transparent about what it is that they're looking to achieve. And one of the things that we say, this should not just be about productivity for the benefit of the company, it should also be for the benefit of the employee. And one of the outcomes that we should be looking for, if we're saying we're getting 50%, 100% productivity increases through AI programs and through the sharing of that organizational knowledge and lifting of all boats, what's the benefit back to the employees? And maybe this is the time that we can say, let's have some serious conversations about moving to the 4-day week. This is something we're now in the centenary of Henry Ford introducing the 5-day week. So maybe it's time that we move towards the 4-day week. We should be getting a better work-life balance for everybody.
Yeah. And for example, if a managing partner asks you, how will working with us, mean working with HumAInity Works, feel different for them from another tech implementation? How would you answer? And I
Well,
know in the question it says we are not just implementing technology to them, but still,
yeah, well,
but
that
still,
you've
how would you
answered
answer?
your own question. This is not a technology implementation. This is very much a transformation, of the organization. This is also about harnessing all of the knowledge that can be there, not even documented anywhere. In order to sort of help first of all with a diagnostic for these organizations to recognize what their USP is, what are their super strengths, what are their weaknesses, what are their opportunities, and we have a methodology developed by David that is incredibly powerful in terms of measuring your organization's brain, your left brain, your right brain, also your heart, and determining sort of well, what exactly is your USP as an organization? What are the threats, the opportunities, and what's the direction and the recommendations that you should go with? That's a great foundation with which you can build to sort of say where are you going to benefit most from your embracing of AI. Um, in terms of addressing the risks that are there and embracing the opportunities that are there.
Perfect. And on a personal note, also on a note of a company, looking after 2, 3 years? If you imagine yourself in 2030, maybe, what
Mhm.
does success look like?
Well, success is determined by we want to see our clients thrive. We want to ensure that those who have embraced this journey with us are thriving in their sector. You know that they by doing this they have made themselves sustainable organizations that have essentially survived this shift because AI is disrupting everywhere. And you know we want to make sure that these companies have harnessed it and have benefited from it to the benefit of all their employees. So it's very much about that. The client success is our success.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's powerful. And at last, what does humanity works means to you?
Well, it's a great question. It's very much from David and I's conversations. We've been involved with technology for so many years. We see this is very much a tsunami that's coming. You can either wash things away, or we can ride this wave. And we really want to help organizations to sort of to ride this wave and get safely to sort of essentially to land. And there's a great opportunity with it in terms of having a positive impact socially. And I worked for what I would say close on 15 years in the world of sustainability. It was very much about predominantly 80% environmental with also 20% community benefit. As I get older, I'm really looking to say what can we do in terms of giving back socially. And one is helping these organizations strengthen um you know uh, to be sort of an employer of choice, to be a good employer, but also from what derives from that we have the opportunity to give back, that we have the ability to establish a um, funds for sort of disadvantaged individuals to get into education. That's very much what David and I are agreed wholeheartedly on is the outcome that we want is we want to essentially leave this world a better place.
Thank you so much, Mark. It was very nice talking to you and listening to everything that you feel for humanity work, especially also for the client's success. And thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Praviga. Thank you.